What's up guys? Today we're going to be checking out Black Widow on 4K and 3D Blu-ray. This won't be a review on how entertaining the movie is. I'm just going to share some thoughts on the video and the audio quality. Now let's go over a few tech specs. The movie was shot in 4, 6, and 8K. It's got a 4K DI. It's rated PG-13. Runtime is 134 minutes, and the aspect ratio is 239:1 and 190:1 for those IMAX scenes, and black letterbox bars for the non-IMAX scenes. There's no IMAX shots on the 4K disc. Only the 3D version has it. Now, I originally reviewed this when it dropped on Disney Plus a while back, and I wasn't all that enamored with the Dolby Atmos audio. It was basically a 7-channel mix with very little overhead activity, and it's exactly the same here on the physical 4K disc. Jumping into the Atmos viewer, you can see here during the car chase that there's nothing going on up top at all, and the channels remain static except for this one part. There's still good lower channel movement with cars going back and forth, but you'd think the scene would be more impactful. The same goes for the fight on the bridge. Even though there's things blowing up and characters launching into the air, there's nothing going on in the top channels. The only part that gets good overhead use is the prison break scene. During this part, you can hear the chopper flying overhead with some effects that do move dynamically through all 11 channels. And of course, there's a little overhead activity when Widow decides to go skydiving. During this scene, there's a bunch of debris that goes whizzing past your head. So there's very small portions of the movie when the Atmos mix does do something effective. I suppose unfortunately for the 3D version, it only gets a DTS HD 7.1 soundtrack, so it doesn't have the Atmos mix. But to be honest, since there's very little going on in the Atmos version, they sound almost exactly the same, except for those couple parts that I mentioned. If you wanted to upmix using the Neural X upmixer, then you can expand out to as many channels as you have.
You're a total poser.
I'm not a poser.
As far as image quality, there's definitely a nice little jump in the 4K image over the Disney Plus stream. Parts I thought were bit-starved when streaming the movie is now rock solid and consistent throughout on the disc. It's a sharp 4K transfer with that digital cleanliness a lot of folks like, so that means there's no film grain to be seen. Detail is razor sharp on the close-ups with pores and individual strands of hair all accounted for, and there's tons of visible textures on costumes and in background elements. Along with the higher bitrate and the cleaner image, the CG also looks a lot better, but at the same time, even more CG. I felt the flames and explosions looked a bit off, and the entire CG finale felt kinda cartoony to me, especially in 4K. Now, this is where the 3D version takes over, which seemed like a CG fake fest works very well when you start stacking layers. The CG backdrops stay out of the way, leaving the live action elements in focus, front and center in front of your face in 3D. I found the 3D version wasn't as strong as Thor Ragnarok, but each layer was visibly discernible with good separation. Overall, I'd say it's got a medium level of depth with a few deep standout moments. The skydive out of the exploding aircraft is probably the best part. Here, there's debris coming right at your head and stuff dropping way off in the distance. Even though the 4K version is sharper and brighter during this part, it just can't capture the scale or immersiveness that the 3D version can. And this part was clearly meant to be experienced in 3D. As for pop-outs, there's a couple times with guns popping out of the screen, and towards the end there's a sword pop-out. Other than that, nothing else seemed to break my screen's barrier. Resolution and sharpness is of course softer than its 4K counterpart, but I never felt it distracted from the movie. The biggest difference would be the HDR. The 4K does have better color saturation, and it's just a brighter overall transfer from start to finish. And those specular highlights do have some eye-blinding pop when something goes up in flames. HDR black levels were deep and contrasty without any low-level crush, which enhances the two-dimensional depth. If you're new to the channel and enjoy videos on movies and audio and video gear, then be sure to tap the subscribe button for new weekly videos. So for audio on the 4K disc, I'm gonna have to give it a 7.4. It's definitely improvement as far as clarity and expansiveness over the Disney Plus stream. It's more dynamic, and the bass response dug deeper as well during the big action scenes, although it still could use a little help. Overhead activity was minimal, but there was still decent lower channel movement. The 3D disc sounded just about the same as the 4K version, so you're not missing much if you decide to watch it in 3D. Since there's not a big gap between the two versions, I'd have to give the 3D audio mix a 7.3. For 4K video, I thought this was a nice increase all around for sharpness, clarity, and color. It's a more stable visual experience coming from the digital stream, and it's a crispy transfer for the grain haters. I do feel if you have the means that the 3D version is the way to go if you want to watch the movie. There's parts that you know were designed with 3D in mind, which is probably why they included those parts in the IMAX ratio. There's the motorcycle chase at the beginning, the prison break at the middle, and the skydiving finale at the end. It's a nice chunk of IMAX. I didn't time it, but I'd have to say it's around 20 minutes or so of IMAX footage. So between the two, I'd have to give the 4K version an 8.1 and the 3D version an 8.6. It's either a sharper picture with the 4K or a more immersive picture with the 3D. Which version would you pick? Leave a comment down below and let us know. Now if you do want to grab this movie, I'll leave some links for it down below in the video's description. For the 3D version, you will have to import it. As always guys, thanks for watching. If you want, you can follow us on social media, and if you want to support the channel and get exclusive content and great discounts on audio and video gear, then stop by our Patreon page. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and we will see you again in the next video.